When it comes to the coronavirus vaccine against the novel coronavirus SARS-CoV-2, we see a lot of rumors, we see lots of misleading information, and we see a lot of insecurity within the population. So in this video, I will try to tackle some of the most ruling rumors and give some more explanations about the frequently asked questions by the general population in order to give a better understanding of the new types of vaccinations, those RNA vaccinations, and to help you get over those rumors and to feel a little more secure. Hi, my name is Dr. Patrick.Nuernberger. I work as a physician in Austria, and on social media I try to educate other people and share my medical knowledge. So let us start. It is true that those messenger RNA vaccinations are new. So here in Europe we haven't seen any sort of vaccines of that kind before, which is not necessarily a bad thing because science evolves, and with evolving knowledge we can create new technology, so that's a good thing. How does this RNA vaccination work at all? So we implement a little part of the RNA which only is able to produce the spike protein. This is done by the body. So when this RNA is inserted into the body, it creates antibodies against those messenger RNA tissue that translates for the spike protein. So it is impossible to get sick from that vaccination because the RNA information that is there is not the whole virus, it's just one small part of the virus, meaning the spike protein. So we must know that. Then, concerning stability, it is very, very unstable, so we need to protect it by a lipid molecule in order to not be dissected by the body at the very first second. So it will not be able to survive inside the body for more than a few days at most. So there is no danger seeing later effects because the body gets rid of this RNA itself. Any side effects at all? Yes, there are, but those are mainly local, and if they're general, they're usually very mild. So we speak of side effects such as headaches or probably nausea, probably a mild or a little higher fever, but those side effects only last for 1 day. So usually 1 day after vaccination, which is day 2, we see those side effects and then they disappear again. Considering the mRNA vaccinations, we usually have to vaccinate 2 times, and on the second time we see higher rates of those side effects, a little higher. But we have to consider that even in the placebo group, so the group that did not get a vaccination but just a syringe with sodium water, there's also a little lower but high enough rates of side effects so that it is still very difficult to differentiate between real side effects or side effects that would have occurred anyways. Plus, there's the possibility of seeing a little bias here because people are very, very exact when it comes to the new vaccination, and there will probably be more people claiming side effects, and also those side effects will rather be transferred to official authorities. So we will probably see higher numbers just because of that fact. About allergies. Is it possible to get the vaccination if you're allergic to something? Yes and no. So of course we do see some sort of allergic reactions to the vaccine itself. This happens in all drugs and all vaccinations, and the numbers are not that much higher than in other vaccinations. So that is about the normal specter. Furthermore, if you have allergies, you can still be vaccinated. There's only a few reasons not to vaccinate, and this would be if you're allergic to one of the main ingredients of the vaccination, which of course makes more than sense. But if you have normal allergies, there is no big risk in the new vaccination. If you have had severe allergic reactions to other things, the recommendation is that you should be supervised by your doctor after vaccination for at least 30 minutes, which is about double the time of 15 minutes that would be recommended for everyone else, so people with no allergies. What about fertility? Will you lose your fertility, or can you damage your not yet born child? We have no data supporting any of those claims, so fertility will not at all be affected in any sort of way. Furthermore, you will not be able to damage your child inside your womb. So there's a lot of rumors going on, and I have not seen any reasonable claims why this should be harmful in any way. And in the end, we do not see any real data claiming any risk for fertility or newlyborns or young children at all. About the long-term risks. Well, considering the long-term risks, it is not very possible that we will see any long-term side effects. As a matter of fact, in many vaccinations, certain types of side effects are this rare that they only occur years after the first vaccination happened. So that must not be misinterpreted as a long-term side effect. This is just a side effect that is so rare that it took years and thousands or millions of vaccinations in order to see one of those side effects. So we must be very cautious here. As we said, the parts of the vaccination will be destroyed by the body itself in a few days, so why should there be any long-term damage? It is not able to change your DNA, so why should there be any long-term problem? And most of the problems that arrive after vaccinations, so most of the side effects are seen within the first few hours or days after the vaccine happened. It is very, very, very rare that we see that later on. And as I said, this is mostly due to rare side effects that occur so rarely that it takes some time for it to be seen at all. Mutations. Mutations are a problem. Viruses do mutate, and they do that very often. So we now see some mutations, one big mutation coming from the UK, one from South Africa, that is in the news and that is causing probably some sort of problems in the near future. Because, well, if it is easier for the virus to infect other people, it will spread more easily. So we need to be cautious. Also, if it gets more dangerous, so if you will get sicker from it, this would also be a problem. But a mutation itself, it happens regularly, and we have thousands of mutations in the SARS-CoV-2 virus that have already been detected until now. So that is a very common thing. The next point is, and the next question I want to answer is, how long will you be protected after an infection or after getting vaccinated? So this is, at this point in time, not easy to answer. As of a infection that has happened biologically, we can say that you will be at least immune to the disease for 4 or 6 months, probably longer. But this time we see antibodies if we check for them, and after that you still have those immune memory cells that will be able to create those antibodies very fastly, and you probably will still be protected from the disease. When it comes to the vaccination, we do not have enough data yet because it is not that old. And we can also say that for some months you will be safe for sure, and probably longer, but long-term data will tell for how long. We cannot really say that at this time. When it comes to serious side effects, what happens then? Well, it depends on where you are from. In my country, in Austria, there's some authority for those claims, and they check if the claim is reasonable or not. And those claims are very rare. So in Austria, we see about 3 to 4 million vaccinations happening per year, and we see about 4 claims being taken. Out of those 4 claims, only 1 is accepted as making sense at all to be in connection with the vaccination. And we have to say that this is still done very, very well, let's say nicely. So if there's any possibility to be connected to the vaccination, you will get money and you will be paid by those authorities. So it is very difficult to state clear connections between vaccinations and side effects. There is those background incidents that we have to think about. So most of those side effects that are seen in vaccinations, they appear in everyone without any vaccination at all. Diseases just appear. That's what the background incidence is all about. And those numbers for certain incidences of certain diseases that were reported for the SARS-CoV-2 vaccination, they are more or less on the base of those background incidences. So it is very likely that there is no connection to the vaccination at all. I hope I was able to answer some of the questions, some of those frequently asked questions, and to give you a little bit more security, because in my opinion it is not easy at those times to get to valuable informations. Me as a doctor, I have the ability to access some medical presentations, and some of those are really, really good. But in normal media, so for the mass public, I do not see good documentations, I do not see good presentations, I do not see any good information for everyone around there. So I was trying to help a little and to give some information here as well. If you liked my video, please follow the channel and stay tuned for upcoming videos. And until next time, stay healthy.